Yeah, before we even start, I'm letting you know right now, I'm not pandering to anybody. I'm not on the woman's side, I'm not on the man's side, because everybody has responsibilities and need to take accountability for their actions. But before I start this negative topic, I definitely want to say I usually just go straight into the intro without even asking you how your day going. You having a good day? Because I'm definitely gonna post this video, and if you're watching it on the, you're just having a watching it live or you're watching on the watch back, either way, I appreciate it. So I definitely need to ask how you're doing. I don't know why I just jump into that. But anywho, I really believe that in a few years or so, everybody's going to be single. Everybody is influencing everybody on this internet. And I know it's a normal thing to judge and blame social media, but it's just a tool at the end of the day that we use for harm. We use it for negativity. We should be pushing positivity, but nobody cares about that. Nobody wants to see the good relationships. Nobody wants to see the positive outcomes of situations. We just want to see the negative. And every time I do see a couple that go online, there is a small portion of people and fans that want to see them excel in their relationship. But there's also a dark side when, it'll be women in the comments talking about how much they want, asking if the husband is single. What does that even mean? Or if the wife can fight. I see comments like that all the time. And I'm like, ain't no way a single person that's lonely that can't find a good man is going to be 100% happy with your situation. 100%? I don't think 100%. Maybe they'll, people want to see love and people enjoy watching love, but it's hard to, dang, I'm gonna sound like a hater, but I think it's nearly impossible for you to be 100% happy with someone if you're not happy with your situation. I don't think I don't think it's possible because dang, I don't think that's possible. But another thing that stops people from getting in relationships is definitely this red flag talk. Everybody has red flags. Depending on how you look, everybody has them. And nobody's perfect at all. And the number one thing is if you're not willing to understand and compromise with somebody's situation, those red flags are going to stop you from being with 99% of the people. We're not even talking about high standards right now. We're talking about red flags. Everybody has them. You look at anybody, everybody has red flags. And it's sad because that stops you from dealing with that a potential partner, somebody that might be good for you. That's why it's perfect for me. I'm at the perfect age because I've seen both sides. I've seen people that loved each other and only dealt with that one person. There's always going to be cheaters in every decade, every time and period. There's going to be people that step out of the relationship, even if it's going good. I dealt with that too. I've been on both sides of that. But it's like, where is the love at? And I know if back to social media, if you post love or love content and it's all positive, it's not going to get the same push as a couple fighting in the street. It's not going to get the same push. So people might be posting great love stories, but ain't nobody watching it because it's not entertaining. So what happens? The whole internet is full of negativity because that's what gets the views, and it's influencing us. It's making us pick a side and have resentment for the opposite sex. Now, I ain't gonna lie, it works too. Because whether I'm in a relationship or single, when I come across the opposite sex, I'm just automatically just replaying all the videos I've seen. Even if I be trying my best not to do that, but it's like I still replay things that I heard women say about men, whether it's their height, how they look, how they dress, and I just stay away from them. I just be keeping my distance because I see a lot of videos where women be like they hate when men approach them or talk to them, period, in public. So it's like, what do you think that's going to do for the average man, a single man? He's probably going to not want to bother you. He's either going to be super like he don't care and he's going to do it anyways, or he's going to be like the average man and just stay away from you. Same thing with women. If you see videos, if a woman constantly see videos of men bashing women saying ain't no good women out here, then she's most likely not going to give you the energy and she probably don't have enough energy to convince you otherwise. Like, no, I'm not that woman. Who wants to spend a long time trying to convince you that they're not a bad person? That's too much energy. Either you believe that I'm a good person or you don't. It's simple as that. And these standards thing, I'm telling you, I'm being 100% honest with you. Whoever you are, I am glad I didn't grow up in this high standard, time period where everybody's like, you got to have this, 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 and this, and then because for the longest I ain't have none of that, and I still was dating women with no problem. Both of us was broke, both of us was short, both of us had messed up situations, but it was like we were interested in each other, so nothing else mattered, and that's how it should be. But it's like now right when you meet somebody, they put it all on the table and be like, okay, what do you have to offer? And this is what I have to offer. And what are we doing? That's not even a relationship. That's what is that? That ain't even a friendship. We're just trying to take and take. And the biggest issue is, in my opinion, nobody wants to be 100% vulnerable because nobody wants to feel played. Nobody wants to feel like they gave somebody their all and at the end of relationship, they left with nothing or they gave so much and they feel stupid. So it's like now everybody's not even given being 100% in the relationship. They got one foot in and one foot out. And these are all things that people are thinking of when they do finally meet somebody that they're interested in. They're like, is this even worth it? Do I really want to do this or waste my time? Because we all only have a certain amount of time. So it's like, we want to say it's social media, but if we just left social media alone, then who would we blame then? Because I feel like, will it still be like this without the internet? The internet does play a part, but it's like we're supposed to be grown enough and mature enough to know that everybody's not bad and everybody's not good. And somebody that may be bad to you might be great for somebody else. I'm talking about absolutely amazing for somebody else. Think of all the people that you dealt with. The connection might have been there, but there's always, you don't know if that was 100% strong. They might have had, people have their first love that they think about their entire life. Like, I'm saying this because I had to realize that every person, every woman I came across, I wasn't going to be the best guy they ever dealt with. That's impossible. There's going to be dudes when they was younger, like in their early 20s that they dealt with and the connection was 100%. And by the time she get to me, yeah, she might be settling. She might be just like, okay, I can't get nothing better than this because she's getting older. Am I going on? Am I ranting right now? I don't know what the, but I'm trying to understand where we went wrong because it's not going good. The last video I made was about babies and having babies and how babies ruin relationships, and people think about that too. Most people don't even want to have kids anymore. So it's like we're going down the path of everybody being single and minding their business. And to me, that's not a good thing. That's the easy way out. Now you don't have to deal with getting your heart broken. Now you don't have to deal with wondering what your spouse or significant other is doing out there or what they're doing on social media. Because we all know don't nobody trust each other anymore. Somebody just left a comment on my short saying nobody has trust or respect for anybody anymore. But how can you just not trust anybody or not respect anybody, especially if it's based off of what you've seen online? That's crazy to me. I always give people the chance to show me who they truly are. I'm not going to just walk around with my guard up all day, every day. I'm not doing that. Why would I want to do that? That's not living. In order to truly be in a relationship and actually feel, you have to be vulnerable with your partner. And if you don't have trust already, then you might as well not even be with them. What's the point? If you're gonna have one foot in and one foot out with anything, there's no point of dealing with the situation because you're not going 100%. So it's like it's literally pointless. And these are things I had to think about as I was getting older because I was so scared of getting my heart broken that I was always jumping from person to person. It's funny enough, I was never really single back then because I was always, I mean, there was time periods where I was single, but for the most part, it wasn't for a long period of time like how it is now. People are going single for 9 years. Yeah, they might be lying, but yeah, I'm talking about I could never imagine like not being with somebody for years and kind of just doing your own thing because what happens is the longer you're not dealing with somebody, the more you're going to be stuck in your ways and the more reason you're going to stay single, especially if you meet somebody. You're going to be like when you meet somebody and everything's going good, it's going to be fine, but the minute it starts going bad, you're going to be like, is it worth it? Is this worth stressing over? Is this worth losing my freedom over and being able to do whatever I want? And that's why I'm seeing more and more 40-year-old men with no kids and no family. In the late 30s, no kids, no family. Now, I know there's a side of the internet and a side of society where men are strictly just trying to get their stuff together and they don't really want a relationship. I understand that. But there is a certain period where you're like, dang, you're 40 with not even a potential mate to even start a relationship with. Is that bad? And I also know, and this is just statistics and things I hear on the internet and in person, all that stuff, that most women are dealing with only 20% of the men. And then that 70-80% of men are just single with no kids, not really dating. That's crazy to me too. Because it's like it's a large portion. And I think women are getting influenced to having these super high standards where it's like the average man will never be able to compete. Never. Because what is the average amount of money people make per year? 30, 40,000, depending on where you're at. And it's like a man goes online hearing these outrageous numbers that these women are coming up with. Oh, he got to make 100,000. In a average man's mind, he like, I'm not gonna be able to ever make that unless I work 2 or 3 jobs, and that's not living anymore. Everybody can't make that type of money. I'm okay, it probably is possible, but it's like people have, depending on where you live and the opportunities that you have, and some men they don't mind working, but they kind of want to work towards their own thing. And and once again, and I'm not on nobody's side. I'm not on the women's side. Not on the man's side, but I'm talking about from a man's perspective right now. A lot of men are going through their journey, and during their journey, they're going to be broke. They're not going to have anything because they're sacrificing things. They're, you know, investing in themselves, so they're not going to have any money. So if you're coming across a woman that only wants to deal with you once you have it all figured out, by the time you get it, you're probably not even gonna. You're gonna be like, no, I'm not going to deal with a woman now that I got all my stuff together. I think a lot of men want a woman to go through the journey with them and build with them. Because if you're not there through the lowest parts of his life, he's probably not gonna respect you. He probably just gonna see you as a body. That's it. And that's the truth of it. That's why a lot of men, when they finally get successful, they're like, when I ain't have nothing, anybody want to deal with me, and now I got all my stuff together, I don't want to deal with them. So it's like it's just domino effect of all type of stuff that a lot of people it's only gonna get worse before it get better. And now that I think about it, I feel like if somebody just cut off social media and was like, okay, social media, all you could do is just upload fun videos and that's it. Can't nobody come on there and talk about nothing or relationships. It'll probably start getting better because social media, to me, the worst part of it is it's making you feel like you have unlimited options. Unlimited. And I always look at it as back in the day when I was growing up, we had 3 movies at a time, maybe 4 or 5 if we went to Blockbuster, rent a movie, whatever. But the point is, we would just love to enjoy that movie. We would watch a movie over and over again to the point where we know what they're going to say, we know what the plot is, we know every scene, whatever. And it's like now, when it's too many options, it's hard for you to just Sit. It's kind of like when you watch a movie on Netflix, you've been scrolling for 10 minutes, finally find a movie. And then when you start that movie, if the movie is not good within 10 minutes, we turning it off. I don't know. It's too many options. I'm not going to waste my time. This is not, it's not doing anything. And that's the same thing with relationships. If people get in relationships and they don't feel like a certain spark or connection immediately, they're like, I'm good. I'm cool. There's somebody else. I got five other, six, seven other people in my phone. And I'm kind of talking from a woman's perspective because they be having more options. But the point is, when you have too many options, you're not even gonna like you're always gonna feel like you're settling deep down. Unless this person is just super connection, super all that stuff. And even then, you're probably gonna feel like it's too good to be true. But too many options is bad. And most of the time, it's false. It's not even really options. If somebody gives you attention, you never really know what their intentions are. So you may be assuming that this person is interested in you, but they're really not. They they probably want some sexual thing with you, or most of the time people don't look at somebody and be like, I want to be in a relationship with them. That's not the first thing we think of. I don't think anybody does. Because you don't even know the person to even want to be in a relationship with them. That's why people go on dates and stuff like that to see if it's a potential. Sexual is the easiest thing. Like that's the most simple thing. Anybody can do that. But to actually be with somebody, have a connection, have a bond with somebody, that's nearly impossible. That's okay, it's not nearly impossible, but it's way more work than just sex. And I think we're going to get to the point where it's human nature to have to deal with somebody, but I feel like people are gonna just make it simple. Like anytime they deeply have to deal with somebody, it'll just be on a sexual thing, and then you'll just go back to your normal day. If it gets to the point where you're really, really having to want to deal with somebody, it's just gonna be on a sexual point, a sexual level, and then you're gonna go back to being single because nobody wants to take chances. Nobody wants to give somebody their trust because nobody wants to get their feelings hurt. They did that when they was younger and now they're good. They don't want to feel stupid anymore because at the end of the day, people are going to be like, you know what? I should have went with my gut and stayed single. That's what they're going to think. And can you be upset with them thinking like that? Absolutely not. You really can't. I understand it. I understand it 100%. So we can't keep blaming social media. People are going to have to take accountability and maybe be like, okay, maybe my standards are too high. Maybe I don't have as many options as I think. Maybe I should stop acting like I'm settling. Maybe I should start appreciating somebody that even wants to be in my presence or give me their time, giving me their time. Now, don't force anything. 100% don't force anything because I ain't gonna lie, them social media, I mean, the dating sites and stuff, I would never. I can't, I be hearing too many horror stories about meeting people online, but it's like when you go out in public, it has to be, in my opinion, it has to be more women saying or giving. How can I put this? Because I hear a lot of women saying they don't want men to approach them, but then I hear other women say, I want men to approach me. So I feel like if it's to that point, I feel like it has to be a middle ground where another group of women start vocalizing if they're interested in somebody, start giving out obvious signals. It can't just be like I looked at him for 2 seconds and he ain't say nothing. It can't be that. The problem is already there, so somebody needs to fix it. Somebody needs to come out and be like, okay, we're gonna start doing this. I don't know, that's doing too much too. I think we're all gonna be single in a couple years. Well, if you're watching this on the Watch Back, or if you watched it live, I appreciate you being here. Anytime